Hey, happy Easter, everyone. It's April 4th, 2021. This spiritual warfare, it can hurt. The enemy knows you better than anybody. He knows what you like. He knows what you want in life, and he does whatever it takes to hurt you. And I don't ask to be rich. I don't ask to be famous. All I ever wanted in my life was to have a house and raise my children and be married. That's all I ever wanted. And have a nice career. That's it. I'm not asking to be rich. I'm not asking to have the biggest house. I'm not asking, I just wanted to grow up. I remember when I was young and I'm like, man, I can't wait to take my kids to baseball practice and basketball practice and do this type of stuff for them and be married. And, my wife, she's she's bringing snacks to the game for the kids. Like, that was my dream. Yeah, I thought this at a young age, 15, 16, 17, 18. Like, I looked forward to having a family. I didn't grow up in a house, so I always wanted to live in a house. I lived in other people's houses, but I never lived in my own house. I was never on drugs and alcohol or did reckless things with my money. Never lived above my means. But the enemy he been watching me my whole life, and he knows what would make me happy. And even though I got 5 children, I got 3 boys, 18, 17, and 15. I have a 1-year-old daughter, and I have another daughter that's about 5 months. I live in a nice area, but I don't live in a house. I have a career. I work at the post office. I make good money. I'm married. I love my wife. She's beautiful to me. And, you would think I'm happy. But in actuality, the enemy been using the people I love and keeping me from my desires of my heart my whole life. Like I said, I never lived in a house. Like I said, it's not like I'm bad with money. It's not like I live above my means. It's not like I'm an alcoholic or I'm on drugs or I gamble or I just trick it off. Never been me. Both my sons, my 2 oldest sons, I was married with their mom. We were 7 years apart. And, I got married at 21 years old because I felt by what I seen on TV, you get a woman pregnant, you get married, you take responsibility. But I didn't know her. She didn't know me. We didn't have no communication. To this day, we can't communicate. Well, she can't communicate with me. I try to communicate with her. But when I talk to her, I understand. It's like this. We argue over the same thing over and over again. And what took place with us happened when I was 22 years old, because we was only married for about 5-6 months. So when I really think back on my relationship with my ex-wife, it's spiritual. Because the same thing comes up all the time. I pay her child support. Never had a problem paying child support. Always picked up my sons, because my biggest fear was having 3 kids, 2 different mothers that don't get along with me and they don't know each other, only by name. That my sons would have grew up not knowing who their brothers was. That was my biggest fear. The enemy been using my children's mom against me, my sisters, my mom, my dad, family members, my wife, my children, people I done work with, supervisors, employees, co-workers, I should say. He strategically planned this before I even knew what was going on. He was already in the war when I didn't even know I was even in a war. I'm thinking the stuff that I'm going through with my ex-wife and my child's mom, I'm thinking we just having regular arguments, but we always arguing about the same thing. When you go through spiritual battles, you're always going to argue about the same thing. It ain't going to never be nothing different. It's always going to be about the same arguments, because I go through the same type of arguments with my wife. Same thing. So I go through the same arguments with my child's mom. To the point, my children are mad disrespectful. My boys are mad disrespectful. And all I ever try to do is be there for them full time as much as I can, doing my court order visits that I had to go petition to go get, and trying to give them a life I never had, and trying to be the father that I'm supposed to be in their life. The enemy knew that I look forward to this till tomorrow to have my family go on vacation. Now, it ain't nothing big. It ain't like we going to the Bahamas or Jamaica or Hawaii. We ain't going overseas. We was just going to take a road trip. We ain't getting on no plane. We was going to take a road trip to the Bay. I live in Los Angeles, California. Got a little room. Well, I had 2 rooms booked. Excuse me. I had 2 rooms booked. One for me and my wife, the other one for the children. I had a nice little Pacifica rented. And then I get into the spiritual warfare fight with my ex-wife. She's bringing up stuff that took place with us in the early 2000s. To the point, she tells me my son can't go, even though I got paperwork saying that I should be able to go. He should be able to go. But then my son, 17 years old, I ain't did nothing. I ain't argued at him. I just said, hey, man, if you really want to go, just speak up. Speak up to your mom and let her know that you want to go with us to this vacation. He just told me Wednesday that he wanted to go. Thursday was the day I was supposed to pick him up. And she tells me, oh, he's at his friend's house spending his spring break with his friends, because the enemy knows what he wanted to do. It was all strategically planned. Like I said, I didn't have the normal spiritual warfare that I had with my wife, but trust me, he was trying. He was trying. That's what made me make this video. Honestly, I ain't even got to that part. So I'm like, I text him, have I heard back from my son? Nope. Not one text, not one phone call. You would think that I just appeared in his life 2 years ago. But I always been in my son's life. I've been in his life since he was born. And he ain't even hit me back. So how am I supposed to feel about that, knowing that it's spiritual, but it's still mad disrespectful? You don't think that hurts me as a parent? That my whole life I ever been trying to do is give them, to be a father in his life, to do what's right, encourage him, go to the plays, and all I ask is for you to go with us. Look, man, check this out. The longest my son's done been with me, and my oldest 2 sons, the longest span of time my son's done been with me was probably a week and a half. Not because I was trying to get rid of them and I needed, no, a week and a half. A week and a half, not even a full 2 weeks. Not even a full 2 weeks. A week and a half. That hurts. That hurts. The enemy done kept them from first birthdays, first day of school. He knew I looked forward to that. That's why I got my girls now. That's why I got my girls now. Let me put this light back on. Because I want to be able to experience raising my children in-house. See, I never wanted to divorce my ex-wife. I never wanted to. I've been married twice. Until, and this marriage is the 3rd. But like I said, the enemy knows what I want, man. And I never called for a divorce. Well, you know what? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. She did and I did, And it was mainly because of frustration, because we didn't go to counseling. She was cheating on me. So that's why I put in for a divorce. And she was keeping my children away from me. So the enemy knows I've been waiting on this trip, man. He knows I've been waiting on this trip. It's my vacation. My vacation. And I'm telling my boys for about a month, like, okay, look, man, I can't wait for this vacation. They honestly, they was happy, like, oh, I ain't never been to the Bay. Oh, I can't wait to go. Both my sons. And, I told them, y'all make sure y'all have some spending money. You know what I'm saying? Like, have some spending money in your pocket. I gave them an amount that I felt like they should have. Be responsible, save your money up. We could go. Don't have to worry about dinner and breakfast. I got you on that. But just have some spending money, So every week I'm telling them, hey, I'm going to text you and tell you what you need to pack for, your for the vacation. Because, picking them up, they they be packing way too much for the little time that they gonna stay, be at my house or whatever when they did come. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna send y'all a list on what to pack and how to pack it. Then I'm gonna tell y'all what the weather's gonna be like for the days that we're gonna be up there, so you'll know what to pack. And I'm telling them, I'm gonna pick y'all up on Thursday, and we're gonna leave on Monday. So you're pretty much with me for a week, right? So, of course, my child's mom plays the game. I don't hear from my 17-year-old. It's whatever. My 18-year-old, he don't have no money. He didn't save up not one dime. So I'm like, okay, you ain't gonna be able to go. You know? You ain't got no spending money, you ain't gonna be able to go. I even said, look, if you come up with this amount, you could go. You still couldn't come up with it, you know. But that's a story for another day. Now, I pick up my youngest son, 15 years old, on Thursday. He can't wait to go. He got his hair cut. Everything's good. I go to work on Friday. Now, remember, this is in the same week that the enemy normally shows his face, right? It done been 3 to 4 weeks without a spiritual fight, but now this is when the enemy shows his face. So he starts off with my child's mom to the point I can't see my son now, and I can't pick him up to take him on this trip, even though she don't have no legit reason why he could not come. Now, all the other times I done picked my son up, it was never a problem. Now, all of a sudden, it's a problem. Okay? Okay. So, I pick my youngest son up. He comes. I'll go to work. My wife leaves messages on my phone in the voice messages on the messenger stating that my son just went back home. He went to his mom's. He had his brother come pick him up and come back to his mom's house, you know, and he said he'll be back on Sunday. Well, today's Sunday. Now, my wife, furious. I expect that from her because the enemy lives within her and she can't control her anger. But I'm agreeing with her. But she's on some, he should not be able to go now. And I'm like, hold on, pump the brakes, just chill. You know, now, did he call me and tell me, hey, I'm going back to my mom's house? You know, I'll come back on. He didn't do that. So I'm okay. I'm a little disappointed because he done been to my house with us not planning anything and done been there for about a week or two. So I didn't understand why he couldn't stay for the next 3 days, knowing that we leaving Monday morning, right? So I look at everything with a spiritual eye now. You know, I look at everything with my spiritual eye. I don't live for this world. So I don't look at everything in this world as looking at it in the world. So my wife is mad. She feel like it's disrespect. I'm not disagreeing with her. She wants to say, see, you're too easy on them. I'm like, where are you getting this easy on them? Because I'm not begging my sons to come. I'm not driving up to go pick up my son and force him to come. Like, if they don't want to come, they don't have to come. But don't say I'm easy on them because I'm not easy on them. Never been easy on my sons. But this is what the enemy's using her, and she's talking through the enemy's talking, telling me that I'm this and I'm that, and I'm a bow down to they mom, and I do whatever they moms want me. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Because I don't. When have I? And I got to stand in truth. And I'm like, when have I just did what they mamas wanted? If my son don't want to come, he don't have to come. Now, when it came to my 15-year-old, I'm like, I'm trying to give him I always try to give benefit of the doubt. Why did he leave? Maybe it was something going on this weekend that he wanted to attend. Who knows? But he should have called me or texted me and told me, hey, Dad, I'm going home. I'll be back at this time on Sunday. But he didn't. I didn't even stress it. I didn't even hit him up. Saturday, Friday, I didn't hit him up. My wife said, she said that he was coming back on Sunday. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking maybe he comes back around noon. Maybe he comes back around 3. Maybe he comes back around 5. It's almost 9 o'clock. And, it's like, what time were you trying to think to come back to the house? Like around 10, 11 o'clock when everybody sleep? Like, if you need to come, you need to come now. So I text him, I'm like, when are you coming? I don't get no reply. Then I wait a couple hours later, I'm like, where are you at? He texts me back and says, home. Okay. So now we finalizing our packing, making sure we're crossing every T, dotting every I. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to have too much in the trunk, so I'm like, we got a big bag. Both boys could put their stuff in this bag. Me and my wife, we're gonna share the small suitcase. We're gonna put that in the trunk and with all our little snacks or whatever and drinks, throw that in the back. We good, right, for this little trip. My wife, she's mad. She's been mad today. Earlier this morning, she was mad for no reason at all. She was mad to the point she didn't want to speak to me, and I made a video about that too. Then she got back to herself, talkative. Once again, we planning, we talking, she laughing, we joking. She's back to her regular self. But earlier, like I said, when I made that video, I had to use God's words. Don't argue. Do not argue. Don't argue. Love her. Don't argue. And I know who I'm fighting against, right? So now, she's been mad about my son leaving, our son, Friday, Saturday, and now she's mad again, right? To the point she's saying, your son. Not our son, your son. Then she starts saying, yeah, because I'm the enemy. And I'm like, I didn't even call you the enemy. Because I know normally when I do that, she gets to arguing. So I'm like, I know it's a spiritual fight because of the things that she's saying and how angry she's acting. And she's cutting me off every time I try to talk. Right? So I'm like, stay calm. Don't go back and forth with her. Don't feed the monster. The monster wants to be fed. Don't feed it. So then she's in the bathroom. She's screaming and yelling, talking about, you're soft. You're weak. Trying to say anything to get me upset. Then she says the words that I knew that she will be saying, you know what? I don't even want to go now. I don't want to go on this trip. Where, huh? I'm the enemy, right? This is what she's repeating. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you because I know what's going on, and I just left it as is. Like, I didn't even entertain it because that's what God's word been telling me to do. Don't entertain the fight. I know this. Don't feed the monster. The more I entertain and more I try to make her stand in truth and try to give her it's giving it more power, more energy to wreak havoc to the point that she honestly says, I don't want to go. So then if she don't go, then I'm stuck with a rental car that's just paid for. The room is already paid for. I guess I'll be going on this vacation by myself. No children, no wife, no children, just by myself. Is that what I want? Nope. So then I go outside, I call my son up. What's going on, man? Like, where are you at? Like, why you haven't called me to let me know what's going on? Oh, I'm going to be there. I said, what time are you going to get here? Because it's things that we got to do. Well, you didn't tell me that we was leaving. I thought we was leaving that Thursday. I said, no. I done reminded you over and over, you and your brothers, and this is a spiritual fight because every time I get to talking, he's trying to talk over me and trying to cut me off. He's 15 years old. I even tell him, don't talk over me. You're being disrespectful. I'm like, I know I'm the one that set up the hotel. I'm the one that booked the rental car. I know, I even told you I'm picking you, as at the time I was like, I'm picking y'all up on Thursday. We're leaving Monday morning, stay until Thursday. I made this clear. I made it clear to him, verbally. He's like, check the text messages. I know what I said in the text messages. I don't even have that text message texting him. Because I don't know if it was my old phone or maybe I texted to one of his old numbers, but I know I said, Rylan, verbally, I done told you this, that we was leaving on Monday. I'm pretty sure your stepmother said the same thing. So now he's still talking over me. He's telling me, no, you did it. No, you did it. No, you did it. No, you did it. And I'm like, stop talking over me. I know what I said. I'm the one that booked all this stuff. I know when we were supposed to be leaving. Like, my thing is, if you wanted to stay, all you had to do was communicate and say, Dad, hey, can you not pick me up on Thursday? Can I come Saturday? Can you pick me up on Saturday? Or can you pick me up on Sunday? Because this and this and this is taking place. And I probably would have been like, okay, cool, it's whatever. My wife is over here texting me, and I'm going to show you the text messages. She laughing. Oh, now you begging your son to come. Like, I'm on the phone with him, but she knows that somehow, some way, that I am talking to him. How do she know that I'm talking to him? Because now she's texting. Because I just walked outside. She don't know if I'm talking to him or not, but maybe it was just coincidence. But I'll screenshot the text. But to the point, the enemy's trying to have me argue with my son to the point he just totally disrespects me and hangs up the phone. He's 15 years old. I didn't tell him he couldn't go. I'm just like, man, y'all, you and your brothers are very disrespectful. But like I said, is it them or is it spiritual warfare? Well, I know who my sons is. And I know right now I'm in this little pocket where the enemy normally comes out to play and to torment me and to make me and to hurt me. Right? So it's like he jumped from my wife to my son. And to the point when I try to call him back, I'm just getting dial tone now. I'm not even getting a ring. Like, he put me on a block list. My son put me on a block list. So I'm praying to God, like, God, oh man, I'm tired of going through this spiritual warfare, but I know I'm supposed to endure it because you give me the strength to endure everything that I'm going through because I know who I'm fighting against. See, the enemy knows you best. When I'm praying to God and I'm thinking, the enemy was already fighting me before I even knew that I was going to be fighting the enemy. He was working on my children and my children's moms when I met them. Because it ain't coincidence that I done went through the same type of drama with one child's mom to the next child's mom. Almost the same thing. When it comes to them trying to hurt me. Us being separated, then it was not the same way, but them trying to hurt me is the same thing. Why I ain't never had my sons longer than a whole summer? Well, my youngest son, I done had him for a whole summer, and he was living with me. And then a spiritual argument came, and he ran away and went back to his mom's house, and some other drama on top of drama. And it's like, I'm tired. I'm constantly fighting my wife that I love. I constantly got to fight my own children, co-workers, bosses. Like, he's been fighting me and trying to come at me for years. And I did not understand why until I started really thinking about my whole life and how God been covering me and protecting me with different individuals. Then I had to look at myself and my heart. And God had to show me who my heart was, because I had the prayer to pray. I had to ask God, show me who I am. And when he showed me who I was displeased with who I was. So then when I started reading the word, then I started knowing a lot more. See, I'm not the same person that I was, and the enemy sees that. He sees that I done got stronger, and I recognize him that when most people don't. And that's why he keeps coming at me, because he wants me to give up. He wants me to bow the knee and say, I give up on my wife. I give up on my children. I'm going to live selfish and live for myself. But that's not what God asks from us to do. He don't ask us to live selfish. He asks us to live selfless, to love others, to pray, to care for others, to give to others. But if I gave up, let's say, you know what? I just got tired. I got tired. I'm tired of arguing with my wife. I'm going to leave her. I'm tired of dealing with my kids. I'm just not going to talk to them no more. I'm moving to Arizona. I'm moving to Kentucky. I'm moving to Atlanta. I'm moving to Maryland. I'm moving somewhere and starting over. Guess what's going to happen? The same thing. I'll end up meeting someone. The difference is I probably won't have no children, but I'll probably meet someone and I'll go through the same type of arguments with them, because that's what the enemy wants to do. He wants to break me to the point that I just give up totally, and I wants to end my life, which is not going to happen. God gives me too much strength. I know what God's word says. And see, what made me think about, when I left my previous wife and got with this wife, and I'm like, why is my wife now doing the same exact thing that my ex-wife that I really loved and wanted to be in her life with the children? Why is she doing the same thing? Why is she repeating the same words? Why is her actions the same? They don't know each other. They ain't never spoke. They ain't never seen each other. I was not dealing with one and started dealing with the other. So why are they doing the same thing? Why is she doing the same thing that my ex-wife did? That's what made me start thinking about, it's spiritual. It's not coincidence. Why is my ex-wife and my child's mom try to hurt me the same way? Because it's spiritual. He knows me. He knows what could hurt me. He knows what I want. He knows the desires of my heart. And he's been trying to break me and not even get me to this point right now 20 years ago. Me going through everything I was going through, they put that lust demon on me, and I'm over here sleeping with this person and sleeping with this person, and then love myself. I'm over here I'm masturbating, which I ain't supposed to be doing, because God lives within this temple. Woo! Oh, it's starting to make sense now. The enemy was trying to get me. He was trying to end me. He was trying to get me to a place where it's kind of like the Terminator. And they had to send the old Terminator back to kill John Connor. That's what the enemy's tried. He tried to do with me. He knew me from the time God knew who I was. The enemy knew who I was too. He knew I got to stop him, because whatever God got planned for me, it ain't even started yet. But I know my purpose is to help mankind, to help them understand what spiritual warfare is, and knows, but the other soldiers out there that's going through the same thing, they have someone that's showing them and helping them. They have someone that's telling them what's going on, because the enemy, we're in a spiritual fight, and the enemy's trying to take out all the soldiers out there that's going through the same thing I'm going through. It's not coincidence that I lived a hard life. It's not coincidence. It's not coincidence that I done seen so much and experienced so much, because I can relate with other people that's going through things I've been through, that's going through spiritual warfare. Oh, man, it makes sense. Oh, it makes so much sense, people. Y'all don't even understand. Some of y'all do, some of y'all don't, but we're in a spiritual fight. And there's soldiers out there. There's soldiers out there that's going through the same thing I've been going through. And some done gave up. And some is on the verge of giving up. And some done gave up. And some out there is going strong just like me, but they can't pinpoint what's happening. They know they going through a spiritual battle, but when they go to different people to try to talk about it, they don't understand. Why? Because I went through it, man. Y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't know. Only those that read the word, that knows, that truly knows and witness it, they understand, they know. Oh, man, thank you, Lord. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. See, what keeps me going is because I got a crown for my ashes. And I know when my time comes and I bow that knee and I confess my sin, God knows I did his will on this earth. And my life in heaven is a lot better than what's been going on this earth. And I know he will reward me. I don't know what it'll be. But I know I'm in the war. And I'm fighting. And I'm fighting this enemy every 3 to 4 weeks. And it hurts to be in a war this long. But God told me it's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. That's my hope, and that's my faith. And it's going to be worth it when it's all said and done. I love y'all. I'm here for y'all. I'm here for you. I'm here for y'all.